Today, we're looking at how history's absolute darkest, most tragic moments are literally being repackaged for social media. I mean, think about it. How do you take a mid-century scientific disaster or a terrifying survival story and turn it into something you just can't scroll past? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down the exact anatomy of a digital hook. We'll be dissecting the language, the symbols, and the super clever algorithmic strategies used to keep us glued to the most macabre parts of human history. 83. Just sit with that number for a second. It's so specific, right? It's an undeniable metric. When you're scrolling through this endless feed of dances, memes, and fast fashion, seeing a stark number like this instantly breaks your pattern. It's minimalist, it's dramatic, and honestly, it demands context. 83, what?
And then boom, you're hit with this question, was it even ethical? Now this is a masterful rhetorical device. Before you even know what actually happened, before you know who was involved, you're suddenly asked to become the moral judge of the whole situation. This question builds immediate suspense and creates this massive information gap. And our brains naturally want to close that gap. You just have to know what went down that was so extreme, so out there that ethics had to be thrown completely out the window.
All right, here's the full sensational context. The radioactive man doctors refused to let die. 83 days of suffering. Was it even ethical? So this is the exact title and caption of a June 18th upload from our source data. In just a handful of words, it combines medical horror, a definitive timeline of pure agony, those 83 days, and a massive moral dilemma. Honestly, it is the perfect cold open for anyone with a short attention span.
The architect behind this specific hook is a creator account known as @voices@3am3. And today, we're going to use this account as our primary case study. We'll analyze exactly how they frame dark history to capture and hold our attention. By looking really closely at their uploads from mid-June, we can decode the very specific playbook they use to turn real historical trauma into highly consumable, viral storytelling.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. Atomic Age Horrors, Radiation as Content.
So, radioactivity. It's invisible, it's deadly, and let's face it, it's deeply misunderstood by the general public, which, as it turns out, makes it the absolute perfect fodder for digital sensationalism. Take a look at this June 16th upload. The radioactive ball that killed 2 scientists in under a year. They called it the Demon Core, for a reason. Now notice how a very real, incredibly complex scientific tragedy from the mid-20th century is instantly transformed into a true crime narrative. It's no longer just a plutonium pit. No, it's a radioactive ball. It gets this menacing nickname, the Demon Core. And of course, it's punctuated with a skull emoji. It literally takes mid-century physics and turns it right into a campfire ghost story.
And this brilliantly illustrates a recurring tactic. Our first example used the phrase 83 days of suffering, while the Demon Core upload boasts killed 2 scientists in under a year. Both of these atomic-themed stories use exact measurements of time to really emphasize the scale of the tragedy. Time becomes the unit by which the horror is measured. It gives you, the viewer, a tangible boundary for the absolutely unimaginable pain being described.
Moving on to Section 2. Survival and Extremes, Body Horror Hacks. I mean, just read this title. He strapped his own skin back on and kept walking. Wow. This is highly sensational, incredibly visceral imagery. It evokes immediate body horror. It doesn't just casually say he survived a bad injury, it gives you a gruesome, tactile action, strapping skin back on. And look at the punctuation at the very end, the freezing face emoji with the little icicles. It visually punctuates the shock value and gives you this immediate physical sensation of cold and dread to associate with the text.
Section 3. Conspiracies and Retribution. State-sanctioned violence.
Now this is the framing for another June 16th upload, this one titled, "They Killed the Most Dangerous Nazi, Then Came the Revenge." The caption asks, mission complete, but at what cost? Again, we're seeing that rhetorical question used to hook you in, promising that the story doesn't end with the historical event itself. It ends with some hidden consequence. And once again, we see the recurring use of that skull emoji to signal death and the macabre.
Then we have this June 14th CIA conspiracy upload. The CIA murdered the scientist who knew too much. It totally taps into classic paranoia. But I really want to draw your attention to the emoji used at the very end of this caption. It's a window. It's bizarre, it's ominous, and if you know the lore of historical intelligence assassinations, specifically defenestration, which is basically falling from a window, it is a deeply dark inside visual pun. It's an incredibly specific detail that rewards the viewer who really gets it.
Now, what's really interesting about this next part is how it all comes together mechanically. Section 4, the viral formula, symbology and categorization. So how do they get these videos in front of so many people? They do it through incredibly strategic hashtagging. Here's the exact list of hashtags deployed across the videos we just looked at. Look at how they cast a massive net across multiple, distinct algorithmic niches. You've got people looking for educational content with hashtag history and hashtag science, but then they cross-pollinate that with the massive entertainment-driven audiences of hashtag true crime, hashtag conspiracy, and hashtag dark history. It's like an algorithmic cocktail, perfectly designed to push a single video into 5 or 6 different viewer demographics simultaneously.
And then we have the emojis. We touched on these earlier, but really analyzing their usage contexts shows how they act as modern digital hieroglyphics. The skull is used for radiation and revenge, the ultimate symbol of finality. The freezing face is for survival, evoking the harsh elements. The window is for conspiracy, hinting at the method of a cover-up. These emojis set the precise emotional tone for each macabre hook before your brain is even finished processing the words. It's basically rapid-fire emotional programming.
Section 5, the algorithm, macabre meets mainstream. When you look at the source data for this specific dark history page, the platform lists an array of suggested accounts. And who does the algorithm suggest you follow right alongside tales of radiation poisoning and CIA murders? Well, Taylor Swift, Bad Bunny, Gordon Ramsay, Billie Eilish, The Rock, Olivia Rodrigo, literally massively popular, globally recognized mainstream pop stars and celebrities. I want you to really consider this juxtaposition for a second because it is incredibly jarring. You are being fed horrifying tales of 83 days of radiation suffering and men strapping their own skin back on. And then seamlessly, in the exact same feed, the algorithm serves up the bright, hyper-produced pop culture reality of Cooking with Marshmello and Ed Sheeran. There is absolutely no buffer. It is a completely flat hierarchy of information, where unimaginable human tragedy and celebrity branding are given the exact same weight. Which leaves us with this final, absolutely crucial question to ponder. Why does the algorithm package our darkest history right next to our brightest pop stars? What does it say about our digital consumption that extreme, bite-sized historical trauma is treated as the exact same genre of entertainment as a celebrity dance trend? It's a wild blend of the macabre and the mainstream, and honestly, it fundamentally changes how we process history. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I highly encourage you to think about this the next time you find yourself scrolling late into the night. Keep questioning what you see, and I'll catch you next time.